Listen, you guys have been awesome. The last time I put up a live stream, you guys watched it, commented, and shared it, and I am like so happy. Yes, I did bring Strick City Live back, but you guys are making it what it is. So thank you so very much for doing that. I have an opportunity to bring some of the people that I know for a very long time in the city of Birmingham to you to talk about some of the things they're doing so you are aware of what's going on right here in your city. And today I have a longtime friend. I'm just at awe at all of the things that God has allowed his hands to touch over the years. I believe if we talk about it, he may have 5, 6 different lifetimes of different things that he has been able to do. And we have him here in the city, and we're gonna talk about some of the things he's doing. And I get the preview of diving in some parts of his life he normally does not talk about. So if you hang along with us today, you get a chance to hear from none other than my friend, Dr. Henry Panion. How are you doing, sir?
Doing great, man. How you doing?
Man, I appreciate you hanging out with me today.
Thank you for having me on, man.
Listen, now you have been known in the city for a long time with your work with UAB. Of course, people know about your relationship and the work that you do with Stevie Wonder. Everybody knows that you're, now I want to say music director or conductor of his orchestra.
Yeah, I'm orchestra conductor and arranger.
I love it. Now, you've been arranging since your times at Alabama A&M.
That's right. That's right. That's where it started. So back in the dark ages.
The dark ages, where you had to really write everything down on paper?
Had to write everything down on paper using an eraser. And but that was wonderful experiences. You know, back I graduated, I don't mind telling you, I graduated from A&M in '81. Wow. And left there and went to graduate school at the Ohio State University.
Okay. And
then came to UAB, and after the master's and a PhD in 88, 87, I guess it was. Mm-hmm. And been at UAB ever since. Thought I'd be here a year.
So I don't know when it happened. It had to be early 2000s. You actually, at UAB, incorporated a school of music technology. Can you explain like the process and what that is for people when you're talking about music and technology?
Sure. One of the things that was really, really important when I was at Ohio State, mm-hmm. I was just there at a time when a lot of the technologies that we use in the industry were just being developed.
Like computer technology.
Computer technology, Pro Tools, scoring software. I was using Pro Tools when it was called Sound Tools.
Okay.
People don't know that. But fortunately, from when I was there, a lot of the companies from Apple, mm-hmm. all these companies were just bringing a lot of their software for us to beta test.
Okay.
So when I came to UAB as a theorist, I was literally in my class one day, I'll never forget it, and one of my students in orchestration mm-hmm. in the back of the class just raised their hand and they said, Dr. Panion, this is great. You know, we're learning about how to write like Beethoven, and you're showing us examples of Bach and Haydn and everybody. But we heard that Stevie Wonder track you arranged on. Can you show us how to do that and how you produce that? And it just kind of hit me like a ton of bricks that I was doing one thing in the academy, mm-hmm. but in the profession, I was doing and using different types of technologies.
I get it.
So we started a course, and then from that course became and grew the whole tech degree program that we have now.
I think that's awesome. I think that's awesome. With that, of course, I'm actually sporting some of the shadigs from Audio State, which is a business that you own, Audio State Studios, and you know, I get the pleasure of working with you at Audio State and pulling off some of the major events. So not only are you professor, conductor, but you own a studio, but you also, I guess you don't say it this way, but you promote like your own shows and a series of shows around the country throughout the year. Would you call it promotion? We don't want to, when you put it all together, like you actually, you manage like these shows. People call you in to conduct different parts, and some of it is packages that you present.
Well, typically, many people will remember one of the first big projects with orchestras in gospel was called Gospel Goes Classical.
I remember that.
And I've always kind of loved orchestral music, but I think some of the most significant and important music, especially when it comes to theory and arranging and orchestration and melody and harmony, is gospel.
Okay.
So I would always mix these two together, and then over the years, various orchestras and artists and presenters and record companies would want me to either write for their artists or produce shows for them, and a kind of a career in doing that has developed over the years.
Kurt Carr, Juanita Bynum, our friend, Big Ruben Studdard, just a year and a half ago, maybe I'm saying that long ago, we actually did the Kennedy Center with Marette Brown Clark, Dorinda Clark, and then the legendary Marvin Winans. That was a crazy show. It's because of you, like working on that show with you, I had a chance to sit down with Marvin Winans. Like that's the pinnacle, you know, when you talk about gospel music. I'm somebody that loves male vocalists, and he's at the top of my list, you know. Great songs all over the years, but you actually had a chance to work with him years ago with the Winans family, putting the album together. Like, you just have so much history in gospel and music, and just to have you here in the city, I think it's a tool that people should know. Like, you're a tool or someone that people should know here in the city. But of course, a lot of people do know you. You work for the city. You worked at several churches here. I mean, people know Dr. Henry Panion for the work that you put in.
Well, I know you, when you set out as a musician, I always joke about this, and there's a little joke in it. I used to say, you know, people would call me to do this and do that, and they'll tell me, oh, we'll give you a nice love offering. And then, you know, I'd just be so happy for them to hear my music or to hear me arrange or see me conduct or whatever the case may be.
Right.
And then I get that offering. There wasn't much love in that offering.
That'll happen. You have to be ready for that.
But, you know, but that, it was always about what I felt was an honor to be able to do that. And one of my dear friends just sent me a note the other day, and she just posted one little word and a couple of words, and she doesn't say much, but she's a very respected person. I'm not going to name drop. And she just said, Henry, your gift really has made room for you. And I really take that to heart, because you don't set out for the recognition. You really don't. You set out to do good work.
Right.
And if you look up one day and, you know, people are calling you, and you know, just to think I've been working with Stevie for 32 years now.
Wow.
And it's like, you know, and people always, well, how do you work for Stevie Wonder? Well, I promise you, I didn't pick up the phone call and call him and say, hey, Steve, I'm really good.
Right.
Call me back. And people hear about your work. And so, you know, the Winans Project, that's just an amazing situation there, you know, where I wasn't going to do the project. Nothing was coming together like it should.
Wow.
And Marvin knew that I really wanted to do the project. He said, Panion, you really want to do this? I said, yeah. He said, well, let me tell you, if it bombs, we're going to tell the whole world it's your fault. It was such a big hit that Quincy Jones signed them.
Wow.
I get the call to work with him and to work with them on a record that wins a couple of Grammys. So you know, you give what you have to give, and that everything else just happens after
And that was, you know, almost a lifetime ago with who you are as a person that I know, because now you're talking about winning Grammys. You have 14 Tellys now?
That's 27 Telly Awards.
So Telly Awards are awards given for, you actually submit for that for documentaries, right?
Well, the Telly Awards for television broadcasts, they are in all categories from production to orchestration to arranging. Then they'll have significance as for its cultural impact.
Wow.
So we've been very, very fortunate with our PBS shows.
21 tellies though?
I think it's 27 tellies.
27? So we're talking about award-winning in music, award-winning music in film, and in film now.
A couple of Emmys.
Couple of Emmys?
Yeah, 2 Emmys.
Hey, people need to know this.
So, but you know, again, we are just still working hard at it. And I'll tell you, it's just not a single person. You know, like you, how we are so fortunate at Audio State to have you partner with us. And
I appreciate that.
And the team of good people. And
James and Tammy, I mean, Connor, you know, all these people that help pull things together.
And the beautiful thing about that whole family we call Audio State a family, from all the singers, from Valerie to Valerie Smith and Valerie R. Harris,
right,
to basically the band with Cameron and everybody. The heart of people makes the difference.
Yeah.
And I always know that if I'm out of town, sometimes I don't go to Audio State in 2 and 3 months at a time. But I know that I can lay my head on the pillow at night, not even think about it.
Right.
It's because of the nature of the people that you have around you. God-fearing, honorable people. And you tell me something, Valerie tell me something, as you all have done, I just stop in my tracks and listen. Right. And I feel blessed to see how God has just provided. And I tell you, it is a God thing. And in every turn, you know, it's just amazing how God has revealed to me that sometimes He allowed me, I'm not gonna say He put me out on that ledge, but He's allowed me to be on a ledge to the point that if it needed Him to succeed. Because if it failed, I said, God, if this fails, it's going to be a reproach on you, whatever the case may be. But God, have wanted me to see that I needed Him. And it's amazing. I look back not with a sense of cockiness, but I can look back on some of the things that God has allowed to happen. And the next thing, I don't have to even exercise faith for that thing. And that's the way I truly feel. And I don't want to be overly spiritual in talking about these things, but I do know the foundation under which my whole life has been girded.
I'm glad you're saying that, because I started out telling people that I know a little more about you than most, and we're going to get a chance to talk about that a little bit, because I think people need to actually hear another side of you. Yes, they know about the music, know about your connection with UAB and the orchestra and all the things that you have done, and may not have known about the television and the documentaries, but they are awesome, award-winning documentaries. Have a few to work on. Like, I can't wait for the Donna Lawrence one to come out.
Yep.
Yeah, I know you're working on that. That being said, could you help the people kind of explain, yes, creatively, I have been able to do all these things, but what sustains you is some of your business acumen and what you're doing outside of music with your finances that are helping you to kind of create?
Yep, exactly.
Does that make sense? Okay.
No, it makes perfect sense. I think for people wanting to be in the music industry or the entertainment field, the first thing you have to recognize is that you must be willing to invest in yourself.
That's right. If
you're not willing to invest in yourself, then don't expect other people to have the same kind of desire to do so.
Right.
But I have a business degree, and I'm not saying that necessarily that was necessary. I didn't even want and thought having to have the business minor.
Wow. Because
music was all I wanted to do. Like most
musicians.
musicians. I wanted to be in that practice room. I wanted to be writing music. I wanted to be doing band practice, choir practice, jazz band, concert band, my small groups.
Wow.
And they said, you're not going to graduate if you don't have a minor. I said, all right, I'll do a business minor.
Gotcha.
And I'll tell you, that has been the most important thing I have done to support even my activities, my knowledge. You know, people see Audio State 55, but Audio State 55 is 3 different entities.
Wow.
It's the recording studio,
Right.
but there's Audio State 55 Entertainment, which is both the production side and the record label that's distributed through Warner Brothers. And then also, there's also Audio State Musical Arts Foundation.
Right.
That we do all the educational pieces out with the summer programs, our relationships with Berkeley, but and UAB, and about 4 other schools.
You can't really just say that as fast as you do if people get it, okay? Because you have the studio, you have the production company, you have the record label, Warner Brothers, and the foundation as well. And you just threw out Berkeley's name in conjunction to the foundation and the education that you do.
Yeah.
And I had to say that again, just so people caught it. Like, this is not, you know, this is not what they call small potatoes. This is all major things that you're doing just in have it on Audio State.
And again, I felt the need to do things where those who were not exposed to either the industry or even educational opportunities
Right.
Could. So there I'm at UAB. We have a music technology program. We got Stevie Wonder to endow scholarships that we've given.
Wow.
I think we've given out about 150 Stevie Wonder scholarships over the years since then.
Awesome.
So how then could we best find a situation where those who want to be the next Henry Panion, let's just say Stevie Wonder, whomever, sometimes our young people don't even know what they don't know.
Right.
So by the time they're ready to go to college, it's not because of talent. Sometimes it's because they just haven't had the right kind of exposure early on. So we started doing things where I call them pre-college music tech academies.
Okay.
Where we were taking all of our things that we were doing at the college level and in the industry, and we were exposing young people to them. So we would bring over 400 kids a week over to Audio State in our labs and things there.
That's right.
Because just being in that environment. So if Ruben was doing a record, I make sure the kids had to do it. If I was presenting something, I would never forget we were doing a record in Hawaii, or doing a program in Egypt. And I made sure that our kids could be a part of that. One of the wonderful things.
Hold on. I gotta stop you again. I want to say this. I know he's saying these things really, really fast, and there's no way he's done all this. Trust me, all of this stuff has been done and documented. You can go and find the Hawaii record. I think Ruben was on that, wasn't he?
We did several concerts with Ruben, but we had the Honolulu Symphony. Did he do the record? I think he's on it.
I mean, I remember some of the things. When you're saying this, I know that people could really think, Panion, there's no way that Strick could have somebody in his studio that's talking like here, right here at the link in Roebuck. Me and you are sharing, because I've known you for such a long time. You know, some of these things are common knowledge to me, but people just don't know what we have right here.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, and I think that in our own sphere, we have influence. And it's important, it don't matter how big you may think you are or big you may be, but the influence that you may be able to give to someone who's looking up to you will be big to them.
Right.
So I just recognized, and I basically told the university, we had these scholarships and we had these endowments, that I was not going to just give this money out to those who are the most privileged and would have the opportunities to be exposed. So I'll give you a good example of some of the things we would do. When the American Idol was big, I had worked on 3 of the American Idol projects.
Okay.
And I said, I want everybody here to be able to look and see what goes on behind the scene. So I couldn't take everybody. So I had the band put their laptops right during rehearsals and during the show. And while the shows were going on, we were there at Audio State with the kids as if they were
Wow.
at
those rehearsals.
Yeah, at those rehearsals.
So they could see it.
They can see what's going on. It's about being able to just touch someone and they feel like they were there. When the movie Straight Outta Compton came out, my buddy who does a lot of producing for Dr. Dre, I said, listen, I got to have you talking about that.
Right.
So he came here, we had the movie here, talking to the kids, so that we could show that film. And they could see that he wrote 3 of the songs on that record and how he did that. And that's the important thing, because we have the talent.
Right.
But many times we just don't know. And so for me, I think that basically I've just been, I'll use this word, foolish enough and trustworthy enough to step out, and if God said he would support an endeavor, I was foolish enough to try it.
And sometimes that's just what you got to do. That being said, I want to be sure that as we talk about all the accolades that you have, that people understand how you have some of your businesses structured and how they need to rethink their mind on just their creativity. Like, do your creativity, but handle your business so you can create longer. Because I feel like that's what people that are creative miss it. You're somebody like, let's do Andre 3000. There's no way this young man could be walking around playing the flute if he didn't have money.
Well, he could, but I get you.
You see what I'm saying? Like, he is so comfortable with his finances that he just walking around. He's making albums that people are buying for no reason. He's just stacking money, off of some of these. He's now at a place where he can create what he wants to, because he said he didn't have any more raps, but he's doing what he wants to do creatively, because I feel like financially he is set.
It's residual, it's all about residual income, right? And I think so many times we think about the stardom, but there's more money behind, on the other side of the microphone,
right,
than there is in front of the microphone. So,
but the part I want to get to is with you that I know is the real estate ventures.
Okay.
It is the other businesses that kind of undergird Audio State. Even though there's 4 or 5 different things in Audio State, it is running without you, but some of that's because of the business that you have structured and the foundation of it.
Yeah, so Audio State basically is a place of operation off campus, but it is a professional recording studio that people can use to rent. We have engineers there who run Studio A, Studio B, and Studio C. Of course, most of Pastor Mike's records are done at Audio State, and along with a lot of others. It was built, the entity, primarily for me to do my projects off campus. We were doing a lot of things on campus, and I had a studio on campus that was built for me to primarily do my research, and that's the way the university looks at it. But as it grew, I needed a place off campus. So to support Audio State, that's one part of it. There are 2 publishing companies. There is HP3 Music, which is an ASCAP company.
Okay.
And then there's Audio State 55 Publishing, which is a BMI company.
No way.
And so basically,
no way. People, if you're in music, you understand what he just said. But basically, there's 2 major companies that does publishing, and he says he's got a company with one and a company with the other. I've never heard that before.
Because if an artist comes through and we're producing that record, and they're associated with BMI,
then you use that.
Then we use that publishing company. And if our records are distributed through Warner Brothers, then the publishing company owns the records.
Right.
They own the songs, and they have control and interest.
Right.
So even if we have a relationship with a songwriter, that's a partnership, that ownership is really, really important. And that's kind of residual income forever when you think about that. You also have to think about when you, the synchronization licenses, things that go on just because a song is on a record. what happens when that song is on television or in film.
Right.
That's a whole different type of royalty structure that goes along with that.
Gotcha.
And so then there are all the PBS, Netflix, film distribution opportunities there. But to get to that stage, as it were, we're thinking about, my family was always in real estate. And
I didn't know that. So your family, like parents were in real estate. Okay.
yeah. So, and that didn't do much. I mean, I guess I was always around it, but I think that when I learned the importance of, in business school, really, to begin to think about it, that basically, and I hated these courses. I hated the principles of accounting. And I got an A in it. I remember that clearly, only because the professor gave us a book that said, Price Waterhouse is going to send you a company's package. You'll have to balance that books for a whole year. That's your final project. You get 3 weeks or 5 weeks, I forget what it was, to work on it. And there are 2 grades, A or F.
Wow.
And I got that. Then business law. And one of the most important things that people won't really think about much is typing. My typing skills are great. And I had a typing instructor back in the day who would walk around like those old piano teachers and crack your knuckles if your hands were like this. Well, that helped me when I became chair of the UAB Department of Music to run that program.
Being able to communicate.
I would be on the stage in Germany or someplace with Stevie, getting off the stage, handling business.
Wow.
When we were building the Alice Stevens Center. And so the experiences, and I want to say all this to kind of build me up, but what I'm trying to say is every little thing that I have done along the way has prepared me for the next thing.
Gotcha.
When I began to work, I was in awe like everybody else with the Winans. I mean, it's like, they're the Winans.
Right.
But then when it was time to do the arranging, and orchestras began to call me about renting my music. There's a whole library, about 500 orchestral pieces that on any given night, orchestras are playing around the country.
Wow.
So I go and conduct, but orchestras call me all the time to rent our music.
Wow.
And
that's another stream of revenue as well.
It not only that put all our kids through college, because the bottom line was, and ownership is really important because professional orchestras have to rent through the American Symphony Orchestra League. So if I send them an arrangement of my new works, then I know I don't have to worry about it being across town somewhere. They will have to send it back to me. They have to report it to BMI and ASCAP. We have a whole show that we're doing for the London Symphony, and I think in 3-4 weeks, I think it's going to be shipped to them. But I don't have to worry about it being in London because they have to report that there's a structure for the way these things go.
Basically, guys, they get a book, okay? The book of all of the compositions for all of the musicians, right? And that book is the music. So they get it shipped in, and they got to ship it back.
Right. They get it shipped in. The librarian has to pass it out to the orchestra. She makes books for them. She inventories that. They pack it up. They send it back with programs. If I don't attend, they know every minute, every part of it. So it's a real structure. So owning what you create, you just never really know what that will do. And I'll never forget one of the first arrangements that I did back in graduate school. Was an arrangement of Oh Happy Day.
Okay.
People know that song. And because a symphony wanted to do it, some years that piece, even to this day, may have as many as 15, 20 different performances of my score.
Something that you did while you were in college.
Yeah, my youngest son is 30. My oldest son is 32, and he would have been 1. Wow. And I put a little tagline on there and to him. But my point is, I didn't know that really at the time. I mean, I didn't know how things would work out. But I've always been willing to do. And in all the great churches that allowed me to work with them, even in this town, Minister of Music at Faith Chapel and 6th Avenue and Sardis. And then the records we did with Israel Houghton and Darlene Check over at Church of the Highlands. What used to be up the street here, Cathedral of the Cross, where we spent so much time. And my home church, where I was kind of rooted and raised in, is Faith Chapel. Not Faith Chapel, Faith Apostolic.
Okay.
But even as a little boy, going to Friendship Baptist Church in Brighton, all these experiences really are who I am. And it's just amazing as I look back on it. And I keep saying looking back on it, you talking as if I'm about ready to retire somewhere.
No, you're not retiring. Like, I know that there's another phase, like there's something that's different. So even with the school, you're having the School of Technology, the music technology portion of the music department. I know because things are moving so fast that the next thing is we talk about AI and stuff all the time. There's going to be another facet that you bringing technology because like me, you want to stay ahead of the curve.
And that's very, very important that for you to say that. Because we are in technology, I've had to take this time over the last year to retool. So we actually, with our majors, have exposed them to the tools. We can say everything we want to say about AI. It's here.
It's here.
So how then have we best tooled our majors? So I just finished writing a new orchestration book, all through AI.
Wow.
And the book uses AI for testing and for creating scores, interacting with the students on orchestrations.
Wow.
Using Henry Mancini, who wrote The Pink Panther, if you don't know that name, his book and some other books. But because if we don't expose young people to AI, they will be, once again, behind the curve. And you don't have to be afraid of it.
You got to know how to use it.
And that's the important thing. People think that, well, it's here, it's going to take my place. No, if you find a way to add value to what you have to offer, then you'll always be good. We thought about this years ago. We thought MIDI was going to get rid of the horn players, and what we discovered was that no, it enhanced the music. In fact, I would like to say that while I know that I want to think that my music is appreciated by the likes of Stevie and others, and I guess 32 years kind of validates that a little bit, but I do know it was because of the way I incorporated technology as an arranger, that we would literally be in Japan or someplace and it would never fail. We'd be through it rehearsing.
Right.
And Stevie would say something like, Henry, and I know we're through with the show and it's ready and we're touring, but I really would like to do this song. And what he's saying is, go to your room and orchestrate this tune. He never tells you, he just says it like that. So many times I would go to my room that night, orchestrate it, have my printers and all my keyboards and stuff on the road with me, print it out, go to rehearsal the next day, and sometimes Stevie would be coming in on sound check.
Wow.
We're doing it, performed it that next night. But if I didn't have technology, I wouldn't be able to do that.
That's awesome. I want to ask you this last question, because we talked about a lot here, and of course we got much more to do. Guys, be on the lookout on a conference that we're going to put on, because I'm saying it now. We've been talking about it for years, but I got to expose him to more people. Like, he's got to do some Birmingham music conference stuff outside of, I'm not saying bad about UAB, but UAB can be a little bit of a crutch because there are kids there that wants it, but there's so many more people in Birmingham. We got a big city with a lot of musicians and a lot of creative people that need to hear all the experience that you have. They need to hear that. That being said, if there's a high school student, not college, because you deal with college students all the time, but they're very creative and they want to get into music, what would be some of the things you would tell them to focus on?
Well, I think the most important thing is to really think about, number one, honing your craft. But everybody looks up to someone. So when you see someone you admire, and don't just get to know them or trying to figure out how can I get next to them and network with them. Figure out what their path has been to be where they are right now.
Okay.
And I oftentimes will tell people, before they interview me, I can tell, they say, "What? Tell me about yourself." I said, "No, you're not ready for the interview.
Right.
You know, go do your homework." Or a student want to talk, go do your homework. You need to know what people have done and understanding the profession. I mean, all this stuff is so available, readily available to you now. Now, when it comes to applying for colleges, and I'm not going to say colleges for everybody. I'm not going to go down that road. I do think education, though, is the key. If you're not educated about a thing, then you'll see someone who's a great keyboard player or a great performer.
Right.
And he looks good on stage. But you may not know, he's went to Juilliard or something like that, you know, went to UAB. And so learn about the field you want to go in. You want to be a producer, you want to be an arranger, and we always hear that word producing. And I'll ask the student, well, what's a producer? And they fumble.
Right, they don't know the real meaning of what they actually do.
Exactly. So it's a tough word, but the other thing is, if you want to be a singer or a writer or a producer, I always loved a lot of different things and didn't know that all those things I loved
work together,
would come together to make me perhaps the person that I am, the musician that I am. But my wife will tell you, you know, you're subject to, I'll sit around the clock and work around the clock all the time.
Right.
You got to put your time in.
You got to put it in.
And so many times young people want to be discovered.
Right.
They want to be that next star. They want to be all of that. Hone your craft. Become the best you can be. Learn as much as you can learn about the particular fields. And seek people out. You know, they should be looking for me at UAB. They should be finding out with me, sending me emails. You should be doing all that in the world. Sharing what they've done. Can you listen to this and that? What kind of recommendations? And people are readily available. I do that.
Right.
And I've been in this profession a long time. So it's challenging, but I do think college is a good route for a lot of people. And I think in this sense, if you graduate from high school with a C or B average here in Birmingham, college can be provided for you. With a promised scholarship.
That's right.
So don't squander your opportunity like that, you know. And so that's all I have to say. And I probably didn't answer exactly.
I think, you talk from your heart, which is more important. You know, I heard something you said, and it resonated in my head. If you want to be discovered, I think that one of the things that people need to know now, with technology and where we are, sometimes the best discovery that you can have is discovering yourself. You know, because if you're willing to put in the time and post and create things, it doesn't matter if you're in your bedroom or in your car, there's a ton of people that have an opportunity to be seen all over the world from these social media platforms and TikTok, and they're sharing their gift and they blow up.
And you're thinking just because it's so crowded out there that there isn't a place for you. One of the things I often say, if you have something to offer, there is a place for you.
Right.
That's true. As crowded as it may seem.
That's true.
And that's me.
Well, I appreciate your time. Like, this has been awesome. Like, I know we needed to catch up, we needed to talk, but I thought this was the best way to do it in front of everybody else. And there's so much more that I know you could have shared, and hopefully we get a chance to talk some more. The interview that we did with Greg Fillinganes.
Yeah.
It was because he was coming into town at UAB, and it was on my YouTube channel. It's still my largest view. It's still getting views. So big shouts out to that. I talked about meeting Marvin Winans with you, and we in talks with trying to figure out how do we incorporate Kim in doing a show.
I'm really excited about that. I'm so excited about having Kim perform with me live.
That's right.
That she's performed in an orchestra that I've conducted before, but I haven't conducted her in a feature. Now I did, I think, 6 arrangements for her.
The arrangements that you did, she had a chance to perform, which is awesome. So that's also in the catalog.
Yes.
You know,
I saw it. I couldn't come to the Newport Symphony when they did that, or Namibia where I wanted to come.
Yeah.
But she was in Namibia doing something with Gaza, I think his name is, from Namibia and there. But we're going to feature Kim with the Alabama. Doesn't that sound good?
Oh, that's awesome.
With the Alabama Symphony Orchestra, and we're just trying to figure out the nature of that show. And I don't want to spill the beans right now, but we're working on it. But it's going to be great.
As long as I get to open up in song, I'm okay.
How do I just open up?
Normally I end with asking someone how people can contact you, but you've already kind of said it, people should.
I'm on Facebook at UAB, Panion at UAB.edu. You can find me, Henry Panion, on Facebook, Instagram, places, all the places you can find me there. And yeah, how about that?
Hey, we got to do this again, and maybe we should just do it around food next time.
Hey, I'm there.
Always, always. Hey guys, thank you so very much for checking out Strick City Live. I have more people coming your way, so keep it locked to the Strick City Live on YouTube. If you've seen us on Facebook, you gotta watch it on YouTube. It's a better view, okay? But thank you guys so much for hanging in there with me, and I'll see you next time.
Great.